Culture community, and thank you for joining us once again for a short interview which is looking at innovative projects that are 100% positive, that are innovative, cutting edge, and that seek to educate in the community. So I'm joined today with the one of the major team players, director actually, of the new film that's going to soon to be released, Dayo Adeneye.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Dayo.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for taking the time out to talk to us. So, funny enough, actually, you done an interview, a sort of a short documentary, about young people not being in touch with the culture of their parents.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's true.
What was that? Was that what was the name of that?
Oh, it's actually called British Nigerian Me.
British Nigerian.
Yeah, the reason behind making it was because I actually travelled to Nigeria last year.
Yeah.
And that was my first time going there in about 18 years. I'm 22, so the last time I went there was 4.
Yeah.
And then it was really tough for me because I couldn't communicate with some of my family members, especially the older ones, because they only speak Yoruba and I just speak English. So it kind of made me a bit sad, to be honest.
It was an interesting one because it was all about that not being able to sort of speak the language, so there was that sort of disconnection almost.
Of course,
and it's kind of a predicament that most young people face, not just Nigerian young people, but what is it important for young people? Why do you think that young people are not so interested in the culture of their parents? I think that's probably the bottom line there.
Well, I think blame can be put both on the parents and on the children. Because first, from a young age, from the time a child is born, the parents need to speak their language to
and
the
nurture them,
because or else when they get older, it'll be difficult for them. And obviously, because children growing up in this country might just see themselves as purely British.
Yes.
So that's the point as well. And myself, obviously, when I was growing up, my parents actually tried to speak Yoruba to me, but I was always like, speak English. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
And suddenly now that I'm getting older, I realise that because obviously I'm getting older now and I want to be in touch with my culture, speak my language, because even if I don't marry Nigerian, I will still want my children to know much about the culture. So that's the reason why. Okay,
that's a very important point, and it brings me on to the next thing, which is basically, obviously, you're a young person, and you're directing quite a serious subject, which is about cancer, So again, it kind of links in because do young people care enough about deadly diseases like cancer, and again, does that stem back to engagement, the kind of things young people are engaged in? So as a young person, what kind of, where are your interests in doing a film such as this and about cancer as well?
Well, to answer your first question, I think that most people aren't really concerned about illnesses such as cancer until it hits them or someone in their family, and I think this is such a serious issue, and what I want to do is really just through this film really inspire people to take care of their health and go for regular checkups, because I was really touched by the stories of the people on the crew, like the writer and the executive producer, because one of their parents died from cancer. And so that was a really touching story. And also, I didn't find out until recently that my grandfather actually died of cancer years back. Obviously, I was too young to understand it, but now knowing that makes me want to take the film more seriously. Yes.
Brilliant. And in terms of what you expect the film to do, I mean, obviously it's had an effect on every one of the team members. So in making a film like this, very serious film, obviously you want to cut right across the community in terms of young people, older people, the elderly, what do you expect once the film has been released, once it's been watched, experienced in the cinema? What kind of reactions are you,
I really
anticipating?
I just want it to really open up people's eyes into the fact that they have to take care of their health and to go for regular checkups. Obviously, at first we're targeting the ethnic minority community, obviously black community, but cancer is something that really affects anyone, no matter your age, your your background. So
yeah.
So first we're going to target that audience, and then we're going to take it to a broader audience.
Brilliant. Yeah. I think there's an important thing you mentioned, which is open up people's eyes, because are we taking it a bit too lightly at the moment? You know, and again, that's why the film is an important one, because it's really going to kind of wake people up in terms of nutrition, and taking care of their health, getting regular checkups, and obviously taking it a bit more seriously in terms of how it can affect just about anyone.
Yeah.
You know, so it sounds like a game-changing film.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, because essentially you're trying to change people's attitudes. You know, towards cancer, and obviously generally that will spill over into their lifestyle generally.
And also, this has never been really done. A topic such as this hasn't been really made, especially in Nigerian community, because if you watch most Nollywood films, they're mostly about romantic stuff and love and kind of stuff like witchcraft. Sorry to say that, but that's true. You know, you see other films about that. So this is a really different topic. Yeah. And obviously, it's not really essentially a Nollywood film.
Yes.
But it is made by Nigerians, so we want obviously people who watch Nollywood as well to be part of that viewing audience.
That
yeah, and really change their way of thinking.
Okay. Now, I think that's been, changes in the air, and, you know, that's been thrown around a lot, you know, but in terms of, now, the first part of the journey, you know, obviously it's a new thing, well, it's an eye opener for you, you know, and even the first part of the journey was, as in the auditions and selecting the cast. What was that like as a director? Because I saw a few rushes, and you've got some stuff online as well. Yeah. Very emotional. The emotional connection was there. Yeah. So, you know, how do you take that as well as a young person, listening to all those stories and.
It is really a lot to take in, but at first it was a bit difficult. But after the auditions, I became a lot more relaxed, because now we found actors who can obviously bring that the emotion that we need to screen and really touch people. Because the actors who came were really good.
I heard there were tears flowing and lots of exchanges, emotional exchanges.
Yeah, so it was really good.
So how are you going to bring those characters to life when we see it in the cinema finished? You know, what have you got in store for that?
Well, basically, I just want to use new cinematic techniques to really put that on the screen and really show it to people. I mean, I'm also doing a lot of research into like the psychological effects of cancer.
Yes.
Yeah, so that obviously when we make the film, it's as realistic as possible.
Yes.
And really bring people into the
that
characters' frame of mind. Mm-hmm. Obviously, because the film starts off when he first gets his diagnosis of cancer by the doctor. So you want people, people to see his journey and how that affects not only him but his family and friends and those around him. Okay.
Well, all I can say is it sounds great. It sounds like the kind of projects we need to see more of. Yeah. We hope that, you know, there's lots more that we can see, you know, even after it's released, because it's important. You know, people need to know about these things. There's not enough educational films being made about our health, and health is, like, as I say, health is wealth. You know, so we don't want to be throwing that down the drain. So thanks again, Dayo, for spending the time with us, and all the best on the new production.
Thanks
Thank you.
Thank you.